Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Hello, podcast fam, and welcome to I Am Home, the Home Life Best Life podcast. I'm Tyler Weiskup, joined by my co-host. You know, if podcasting had a most inspiring board, she'd be the featured pin. It's Becca Sudbeck.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Becca. And our other co-host, she's just a vision board in action. Welcome, the creative and dynamic force that is Hillary Waltemath.
Hey, Tyler.
Hi, Hillary. This month, our theme is loving the home that you have. And today's topic is a look at the future. We're talking Pinterest predicts their emerging trends for 2025. Hillary's going to walk us through how we can stay ahead of the trend curve by walking through all of these Pinterest annual trend report business that they put together every single year, it's always fascinating. We always learn a lot. So thanks for pulling this together. But before we do that, let me tell you why we're even doing this podcast. And that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life. And you can learn more at nfm.com. Okay, Hillary, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to pass it straight off to you.
Yes. Okay. So I'm thrilled to be sharing this with y'all today. And if you remember our mid-August episode, we went over dorm decor trends for 2024. And you might remember me referencing Pinterest predicts. Well, they dropped the emerging trends for 2025 in December, and this covers a number of categories. There's a number of emerging trends that they have shared, but obviously for today, we're going to focus on the ones that are appropriate for the home. And I really love looking at this report every year when they come out, because not only are the trends really fun and inspiring, but the way Pinterest forecasts them is really pretty cool. They analyze billions of search terms, and then they use some tech magic that I won't pretend to understand to start to identify patterns and like clusters that start to emerge. And they keep in mind they do this like globally. So this is even beyond the US. So there's influences from all over, but it's so cool that they're using like data, that things that people are pulling up Pinterest and searching for, and then putting out these predictions. And they've got a really good track record. I think they've been doing this for about 5 years now. And when they predict a trend, it usually sticks. So I, of course, have to add my usual disclaimer that embracing trends is less about starting from scratch, throwing things out, and more about additions or edits, just to bring a little bit more joy or a little new life into spaces that you already love. And especially this time of year, it's like post-holiday season. We've taken all the pretty decorations down, and we've done a lot of purging and organizing and getting rid of things that we don't need.
Hopefully.
Yes, that's what we should be doing. So now it's how about, do we like freshen it up a little bit? And looking at trends is a great way to maybe spark some creativity. You do not have to adopt them if they don't vibe with you for any reason, but it can spark some fun ideas.
And it's a good excuse for you to, like, if you haven't been doing that purging or haven't been doing that planning for what you want to do, these give you good triggers for like, oh my gosh, I love that. That would be perfect for that spot in my house. Yeah. So I really, for me especially, I think this is super helpful. I know there's a lot of people who are like that too.
Yeah, certainly. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump into the first one. So the first one they've predicted is Mix and Maximalist. So I'll read the little blurb and some of the search terms that led them here. So Pinterest says, for 2025 decor, more is more. This year, Gen X and Boomers will mix and match brilliantly bold patterns, eclectic prints, and delightful textures in all colors of the rainbow. Oh, and layering, a lot of it. So some of the search terms that people were putting into the search bar were fabric wall decor, eclectic apartment, was up 630%
Oh,
in that
dang.
search
Yeah.
term. Yes. Eclectic boho bedroom, eclectic maximalism, vintage maximalism. So this is kind of that overcorrection from
everything being so minimalist.
yes, and clean,
Yeah.
and like that reads a little bit cold. So I pulled together some images that came straight from this like Pinterest board. So it's all about mixing patterns. It's less
Mhm.
about things being so matchy. And when you think about like mixing patterns, like that is so intimidating.
Yeah, overwhelming. For
Yes, yes. But you can see, like, just looking at the bottom right, for example, it's a close-up shot of a bed. It's up against a wall, and the wall's got floral wallpaper plus some wainscoting. They've got multiple patterns going on the bed. So all the colors play together really nicely, but it's a mix of stripes and checks and florals. Like you can mix all of that together in a really fun and inspiring way. And so especially in like textiles, you can do a
Yeah.
lot. So there's a lot of textile layering with pillows. Like none of the pillows necessarily match in any of these photos. The bottom left photo, somebody took a collection of plates. No two are the same. And they've mounted them to the wall to make like a fun collage. And, you know, maybe there's some history to some of these pieces that they've collected too. They've got them proudly displayed. Top right is, I think, some sort of setting for like
Tableware,
a dinner party.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's fun.
Yeah.
Actually.
Mixed patterns, mixed colors, like no two pieces are even like the same pattern in there.
What do you think is like making, like, because I look at all these and they all 100% work. You look at them and it just looks fantastic. You think it's just the amount of like just having more of those options, your eyes just like drawn to everything, and then finding just a few colors? Like what's like making it work if you're looking at this?
Yeah, I think you start with one piece that you love, and then you can start to build off of that. So, you know, whether it's this wallpaper that you love, or you've got a new piece of bedding that's got some pattern that you really like, you can start there and just start to build off of it. And to some of, referring back to some of our earlier conversations, like that probably wasn't all purchased at one time. Like they didn't go out
collections over time.
Yes, they didn't go out and buy all of those pieces, and that's okay. Like buy a piece that you love, live with a little bit. It'll be top of mind as you're out shopping for more, and naturally you'll find some more pieces. And if not, take it back. You know, you try something differently or move it to a different space. And I think that's like what's great about this one is like dig out some of the stuff maybe you've put away in storage, or, you know, Becca, you're not always wanting to collect the things that your family is giving to you, but those that do, like maybe take on some of those pieces that grandma is wanting to pass down to you. That may spark something. So it is very much that collector mindset that kind of pulls this together. And naturally, if you love it, it'll start to come together.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest one. I was waiting for you to come back to that one, because if you do like that thing, you tend to gravitate towards pieces similar that have a similar vibe or some like aesthetic that you can find ways to make play together.
Yeah, the more you overthink it, the more complicated it's going to be.
I mean, you'll never find.
Just go with your gut.
Yeah,
It'll start to come together. Yeah, for sure. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
So psyched.
Okay, so next one is called Terra Futura.
Whoa.
Yes. So Pinterest says boomers and Gen X are rebels with a cause, revolutionizing sustainable living with recyclable fashion, self-sufficient gardens, and other eco-living aesthetics. The best part, this eco-living aesthetic will bring some seriously cool sci-fi vibes. They're searching in large numbers for terms like solar punk house, solar punk fashion, and chaos gardening. So some of those are some of the search terms. Chaos gardening was up 300%.
Wow.
Well, I've never even heard of chaos gardening.
Yeah, I hadn't either until I heard this. So I looked it up, and essentially it's a planting technique that's intentionally random. And it's like scattering seeds and letting plants
See
grow
what happens
wherever they want without the need for precise planning or organization.
Okay.
And if you remember our podcast episode, I can't remember, last spring, I think, we had a guest that talked about like native plants and how much native plants thrive much more effortlessly, because that's like the conditions they're meant to grow in. And so like, I feel so validated by this because I like to garden, but I see these like perfectly landscaped, manicured yards. And I was like, I just don't know how to do that. Every year I just go buy more plants that I like. And it's like grown to be this like really lush, kind of wild area of my yard. And I love it. I'm like, okay, I was into chaos gardening before
it was even a thing.
Yeah. So I'm feeling so validated by that. But we've certainly seen a trend in like more greenery in the home, outside of the home. And so this is like almost like a futuristic kind of take on it. So if you see top left is like an earth sheltered home.
Yeah.
And I think I've mentioned before, I grew up in a very, very small town in rural Southwest Iowa, but there is like an earth sheltered home. And I just remember I've never been in it, but it was just like the coolest.
It is really cool.
Thing. Yeah. Yeah. And so there were I just picked one because I thought putting 6 earth sheltered homes on here was like a little excessive, but just like,
yeah, this one's got like a concrete roof that's just got like the grass over the top of it, and like the doorway, kind of the face of the house here. It's like all glass. And yeah, there's a little bit of a concrete porch, but it's just there's so much greenery there. You can see through it. It looks great.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, especially if you live someplace with amazing views. Like, you want to take that in from every perspective.
Yeah.
In your home. But like in the bottom middle, it's these like Dr. Seuss like trees that have like
really strange.
grown in front of the. I think that was from somewhere in San Diego, I believe, is where that photo was taken. And then directly above that, we talked to Chelsea Hepner, interior designer, about awkward spaces. Like this is a long, awkward hallway of some sort that gets great light, and so they've loaded it up with plants. Or this interesting like skylight in the top right, where
it's tracking down the whole hallway. Yeah.
So yeah, it's finding ways to like bring that in or out in a way that's like not too meticulously planned. Like just, I mean, plants aren't meticulous in how they like grow either, like let them do their thing.
I like that. It goes along with what we talked about last month too, just like earth and nature and those tones. Like we're letting that happen within our home with like the paint treatment, wall treatment, things that we're doing. Like why not like the greenery that you bring in or outside of your home too?
Yeah. And what setting have you been surrounded by plants where you've not felt great,
more serene?
Yeah. And they like help clean and purify the air that you're breathing in too. So win-win.
100%.
Okay. Ready for number 3?
I mean, I'm blown away with first 2, but yes, let's go.
Okay. So number 3 is called Primal Play. And the blurb from Pinterest is adulting overrated.
Yes.
The inner child in everybody will escape to colorful new places in 2025. Gen Z and Gen X plan to paint funky murals onto furniture, jazz up their rooms with contrast trim, and convert their drab cupboards with primary coloring. So some of the trending search terms were contrast trim, up 85%. We kind of talked about that as like a way to spice up your place last month. Cupboard painting up 45%, door murals, hand-painted furniture, hand-painted wall pattern. So if you are someone who enjoys like DIY projects, like this is the one for you, certainly. And then this is where DIY works best because it's not about being perfect.
Yeah.
So it's like embracing that. I loved the photo on the bottom left,
The door.
the door, yeah,
I love
the
that.
front door is yellow. It's got some stained glass in the middle, but around the like trim of the door, like the part that's like concealed when the
Right,
door is
when it's
closed,
closed.
Yeah.
they've done like a two-tone blue
I love that.
stripe
That's really
across it.
fun.
And like what a fun
Yeah.
little like
Totally.
peek.
And it's not even something like you won't see that you don't see that very often, but I'm sure
Mhm.
every time you see it, it makes you happy.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
that's just, how can you not think that's so fun?
Yeah. Yeah. The other one I love in the top middle is seeing a lot of fun table linens
Yeah.
that either they're painting on or stitching
Yeah.
or embroidering. Like I've seen some where it's like the outline of where the plate goes and the drink glasses
Mhm.
go. And
Nice.
so
Yeah.
it could be like a fun, it's like a centerpiece without
Right.
like the like traditional
Like,
centerpiece.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's tons of inspiration on Pinterest if you're interested in doing something like this.
Yeah, this one is cute. Just like you've got a vase, you've got like little
Mhm.
coffee cups and just like little plates and
Little
things,
fruit and
yeah,
veg
yeah,
and yeah, this one's
and
like
a bunch of different colors as well.
Mhm.
So
This
it's like
one's
vibrant and fun.
embroidered, but you could certainly do that with paint. It's really low cost,
Mm-hmm.
low risk with that. You know, if you don't like it, you can pass it off to somebody else, donate it, repurpose it for something else. So it doesn't have to be necessarily like transforming an entire room. It can be infusing like a little fun piece like that. There's a couple of lamps and vases on the left. NFM actually carries a version of that striped lamp. So the base of the lamp has like this stripe detail, and the lampshade also has a stripe detail. We have that in like a black and white pattern that's really, really fun.
Yeah.
Love statement lighting. We've talked about that a couple of times. So another way to like, you don't have to necessarily like totally change over your living room, but maybe you think about adding in a fun lamp like that.
Yeah. These give me like Scandinavian,
Mhm.
just like, yeah, just the simple patterns that's like really easy for anybody to kind of jump into. But it makes a big impact.
Yeah.
And like when you look a little closer, like you can see, like you were saying, like the lines aren't always like 100% straight, but like it still looks great, even just like that initial impact. And that's part of the charm, I would assume.
Yeah, there's a fun mural in the bottom center. It reminds me of like the Candyland board game.
Yeah, I can see
like
that. Yeah.
100%, yeah.
But it's this like imperfect linear squiggle shape that changes colors, and it crosses across the doors a couple of times. So you know, who knows what those doors go to, a closet or lead to another room, but normally you wouldn't hang art over it, but this is a way to kind of just like make it part of the entire space too.
It looks whimsical and fun. I think that's the one that I'd be the most nervous about. This collection. I don't know. That just seems, it looks great for this person.
Yes, this person is wearing like a light purple jumpsuit and green high top Vans, like, and they've got an orange sofa.
See that part?
Yeah.
You saw it up close first. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get go to the eye doctor.
Yeah, spoiler alert, this is an eye exam.
I need the high tops. That's where it really threw me.
I had a really tough time like editing it down to just 6 photos for this little mood board. But are you familiar? Have you heard the term trompe l'oeil before?
No.
So I should have like looked up the specific definition, but it's essentially like line drawing or silhouette of like wainscoting. And so it's like really imperfectly done. I saw one where they like did like a trompe l'oeil design of like a light switch. It was like this elaborate plate around the switch, and so it looks like a drawing of like an actual physical thing, but it's just like the paint line drawing. Or instead of like installing wainscoting, maybe you could paint that imperfectly into your space. So if you're trying to, you know, do something fun and different, like painting your walls, we've talked about, is like one of the lower risk, lower cost things you could do. And if it doesn't work out, paint back over it.
Right.
So fun way to infuse some of that like fun playfulness charm that we're looking for in some of those like more modern, like blank canvas spaces.
Under $100 for paint, you know, you can live with that versus like hiring a contractor to come in and like put stuff on your wall and the cost of wood and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a good way to kind of like play with it. Maybe you decide that you want wainscoting, like the real version later on because you just like how the paint look could be. So I think that's a solid suggestion.
Yeah,
as usual, Hillary.
Really fun, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Primal play.
Yes. Okay, you ready for the fourth and final?
Yeah.
Okay,
let's do it.
So this one is called Cherry Coated, and it's one of the cross category emerging trends. So like I've said, they predict emerging trends for a number of different categories, and there's certain trends that like cross over into different categories. Okay. This one we've talked about a few times, but when you think of like home, you may be like a little like stumped on how this like fashion and home trends kind of inform each other.
Yeah.
So I'll read you the little blurb from Pinterest. But Gen Z and millennials will infuse cherries into their makeup, menus, and mood boards in the coming year, with cherry vibe, cherry car, cherry martini already soaring as search terms. Tart is all heart in 2025.
Tart is all heart. Okay.
Yes. One of the trending search terms was cherry bedroom, up 100%. Dark cherry red as a color was up 235%.
Whoa. Yeah, that's dramatic.
Yes. So we've seen this. This has been huge in fashion. If you're looking at Becca's shirt, my nail color right now. We are
I don't have any cherry. I don't have it.
I know. You're more on the primal play vibes, and you can stick with that. That's just fine. But thinking about these like dark moody reds, you're like, we've like moved on from the red accent wall. That's scary. But there's some really beautiful ways if you love this color to bring it into your home. Top left, they've painted a door.
I really like that
beautiful.
Really pretty.
Yeah. So if you don't want to commit to a whole wall, but you're interested in bringing this in, that's a great way to do it. Florals, like faux or fresh. It's a great way to like, I love this color. I want to see it more. You can bring it in with florals. There's a couple like candles in that same color. Again, we on the bottom two left ones are more of that like color washing that we talked about.
Yeah, they went for it with that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So the wall color is kind of like a deep wine. The headboards are like a deep red.
Is this mocha mousse?
It's almost mocha mousse. We're a little bit warmer toned. Okay. Yes, but that's nice connection there. On the right are some like champagne flutes from Estelle Colored Glass. They do beautiful, beautiful colored glass. So if you like love this color, doesn't make sense to go full bore in your home, you can certainly bring in some of these pieces if you've really fallen in love with the color like so many others have.
Yeah. The bedroom ones are cool because they just
really
went
nice.
like really dramatic with like the color washing, like you were saying, Hillary. And is the looks like the headboard is also in kind of the cherry color
it's like
too.
A velvet, upholstered color. It's not the same color as the wall, but it's in that like same family. The saturation is just changed a little bit.
Right.
And then the linens are like coordinating. Even the lampshade and the one in the middle is in that same like color family. So when you just look at those photos and you're like, there's no way you don't sleep well.
Yeah.
In those rooms, right?
Yeah, very cool. Very elegant. I would feel very regal and just fancy as all get out.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, that vision could be yours.
For the low cost.
For redoing your entire bedroom.
Right.
Okay, so that's the first three were certainly like the emerging trends for home for 2025. This cherry coated is one of those cross category ones, but I of course have to ask you, hypothetically speaking, which one would you most likely, be interested in like dipping your toe in for 2025 if you were looking to?
You want me to go,
Sure,
Becca?
go.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm vibing definitely with the mix and maximalist. I think that there's a lot of fun to be had there. My wife is like a huge thrifter.
Yes.
We've got a lot of that kind of stuff in our house already. And I've been talking probably another year. We moved into our new place, and like color on the walls is one of the things that we're still kind of trying to figure out. I think that's what we're hoping to dive into. We've got a plan for this year before Easter to paint our dining room. So there could be some fun stuff that we might pull from today's episode. So,
yeah. If you're a thrifter, collector, like you love hunting and finding those little treasures, like that's certainly one to explore.
Yeah, 100%.
How about you, Becca?
I think I'm the same. I don't really like to thrift, but what I love about it is like the mixture of all the patterns and the fun colors. And I think you could also do it without. I mean, you could dip your toe into it, and I think make some really fun statements, but not like in an all-in way. But so I feel like that one. I think the color is fun. I think the patterns are super fun, and I like that there's color coming back in.
Yeah, agreed. And that's a good one if you love it this year, but you want to change it next. You just like pull some of those pieces out. You don't have to like strip it all away and start from scratch.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of like tools and pieces to work with for that one.
What about you?
Red has almost become part of my identity. So I like want to choose something else, but this like cherry red, I'm all in on. Wow. And there's a couple rooms we've been wanting to paint, and I've like changed my mind a couple of times, but like seeing these colors on the wall, and like the office is one of them that is just like, why not paint that a fun color? So that one, I think I'm probably most drawn to. I'm also like just getting into wedding planning a little bit, and so this is like speaking to me on that level too.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know how much we've talked about your wedding bells on the podcast before. So.
No.
Do you have a date now?
Yes, we just booked a venue last week, so September 2026. We've got a date. So now that was like a huge step that now I'm getting a little bit more exciting about putting the other pieces together, and I'm like really drawn to this color you don't think of with
cherry coated wedding. Okay. All right. There's all tart and heart in Hillary's 2026 wedding.
Yes. Yeah. We'll see. That could change my mind a million times between now and then, but
there's some time.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay. Well, Hillary, I think we're going to have to call it there. Thank you so much for this episode. I think my mental board is 100% full. But I want to thank Becca as well, our producers Scott and Ann, and I want to thank you listeners. Remember to like, rate, subscribe, do all the things, and also hit us up on our podcast website, nfm.com/podcast, where we're looking for your questions. We want to tackle all the home life questions that you have and help come up with creative solutions for you. So I think that's going to do it. We'll end as we always do. Remember, home is what you make it.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hillary Waltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.